So for today's video, we are going to get back into the swing of deck testing videos. These are videos where I come up with an idea, a concept, something that I just wanted to test out, and then I play a couple of games with it. I record the results, win or lose, and I share them with you guys. And today we're going to be playing a version of Control Tribunal that I like to call Fun Police, because the entire point is to ruin the hopes and dreams of the enemy, as a control deck wants to, but I mean really annoy them. So the core of this deck is basically centered around two things. First, it's centered around all of the ways that you either banish or ruin the fun of your opponent. So we have the full suite of Cast into Time, Piercing Twilight, Hallowed Death Priest. We've got a couple of Grisly Gourmets in there, just for added kick, if you will. And we've also got things like A Night to Remember, for example, Doppelganger that can help re-trigger some of these effects, right? Again, copy the Hallowed Death Priest or reuse the ability on Hallowed Death Priest so that you can just really annoy your opponent. We've even got a Mechanar in here so that you can stitch some things together from the top of the opponent's library. We have some Soul Tears, again, to bring back things like Piercing Twilight and Death Priest and so on and so forth. Now, the other half of this list is centered around abusing Necromancer, because it's an insane card. It has been since Houses of Morrowind released, and it didn't get any worse with Isle of Madness. So we naturally have Necromancer. We have Galen to boost said Necromancer. We have our new Bard friend here who can really go crazy with Necromancer. And then we have, other fun effects, right? So we've got things like Assassin, Barrowstalker, Shining Saint, Harpy, Wordcrafter. These can all be brought back by Necromancer, and they help shore up our early game. We've got Grisly Gourmet, Indoral Mastermind for a little bit of card draw. Those also help. We have Icy Shambles, new addition from Isle of Madness, that can also be brought back with Necromancer and again help slow things down. And then Doppelgangers, if they are discarded for any reason, whether that's overdrawing or through Mastermind, can be targeted by the Necromancer. We are also including the new Split card, mostly because Rayvat can be targeted with Necromancer, and so it gives you a source of being able to ward your face over and over again. And then the deck is, for a control deck, kind of light on finishers. So we actually run General Tullius as a potential stall card because it creates guards in both lanes that can also get big and help you close out games, and because Tullius can be targeted by Necromancer. Then we just have like a pretty standard suite of annoyances at the top end with a couple of maybe questionable inclusions. Again, Mechanar is here for Fun Police, but then we have Ancano, Laneth, Nakreen, Odaving, and Parthenax. And the reason that I'm running these is because we are running triple A Night to Remember, and we have the Doppelgangers. So the idea of, copying Nakreen a few times is just very comical to me, and I wanted to do something fun. Is it likely the best case scenario for a control deck? No, but after all, this is the Fun Police, and so we are policing our opponents while also having fun. And on that note, we're going to go jump into some games on the ladder, and like I said, we're going to play 2 games, win or lose, see how they go. I will put a deck code in the video description, so if this looks fun, you want to try it out, you can use the deck code to import it. If you like the core concept and then you want to make some changes, that's fine too. But we are going to give this a go. And it looks like right out of the gate, we're going to be up against another Tribunal player. We're going to keep these because I think we're going to try to be greedy here. Because if this is truly a mirror, then the more greed, the better. Because our deck is not really designed, in my opinion, to beat good Tribunal decks. I don't know. We shall see. There's a lot of anti-aggro tools and not a lot of late game. And the late game we do run is not nearly as impactful. The fact that they also have ramp does not bode well for us. So we're playing draw go over here.
They've no move.
Okay. So they have ramp and card draw. Spoiler alert. And a control mirror. It's not usually good for you. Yeah, sure, why not? We're okay with letting one go because we have another, and we have the Necro. So, you know, not the end of the world.
The Oriole do not
Let's go ahead and Shining Saint this, and then shackle it, lock it down. Seems okay.
Speak, citizen.
And they go ahead and develop a golden initiate. Alright, so we have necromancers. We have a night to remember. We got a lot of really good tools. But not a lot to show for it. Kind of a tough call here, because on the one hand, we could bolt and set up some favorable trades. On the other hand, we could do something silly with iron and a night to remember, because using a night to remember when you know you're going to get iron back is kind of cheeky fun, but I suppose we'll just go ahead and take the conservative path. Kind of a tough decision there. Okay. That is a daggerfall.
Kneel before the saints! I slay the unworthy.
Do I want a guaranteed lightning bolt back? I think I do.
We fight for the glory of lost Aldmeris.
So we'll go ahead and get that back. We're going to dodge this because I don't want to give him a tome if I can help it. We're already going to have a hard enough time trying to outvalue our opponent. So we're kind of okay with what's occurring here. That's a great pickup for us, so we're going to go ahead and Death Priest. And I actually think we're just going to go ahead and a Night to Remember. And that is good hits for us. Iron and a Necromancer. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Alright, so they're going to cast into time our Death Priest because, yeah, they did not like what we just did to them. And I don't really blame them, you know? And we're going to go ahead and Doppelganger Iron. See. Oh, look, we get back a Night to Remember.
For old
I'll give him a card. I'm okay with punching this. And we'll also get rid of that so that they have to spend something to get rid of this. And okay, not too shabby.
There's a plan. There's always a plan.
The Tribunal will always come to the people's aid.
This is a very good pickup for our opponent. They're going to draw a card, buff their board. Be able to trade into our iron while getting some health back. So yeah, overall a pretty good board for our opponent.
For old Aldmeris.
And now we have to decide what we want to do about it. We have 2 Necromancers in hand. We could use one on an Icy Shambles just to kind of slow them down. Need to get rid of this Bruma so they stop gaining health, though. I think. Maybe not.
Rise, my servant.
Go ahead and bring back our Shambles here. think this is all I want to do for now. So they're going to get a tome. But we need to get rid of this ward if we want our Odaving to clear in a couple of turns. And we really do. Wow. Alright, so that's 2 cast into times down, but the good news is we still have 1 Necromancer, so if we find a Galen, we can start abusing that. But that's rather annoying that they had 2 so soon. Not even a third of the way through their deck.
They've no move we can't anticipate.
I'm really envious of the card draw that they have found. Alright, so we have a lot of burst potential between like the Irons and Doppelganger plays, believe it or not. So we've got 9, 13. A Doppelganger would bring this back, and then we could play it for 2, which would be 17, and then a Night to Remember on one of them would bring this back. Let us play it for 2, which would be 21. That is relatively impressive, but not quite lethal.
History shall remember this day.
But I think it's flashy enough that I just want to do it.
A few drinks, a few
We fight
laughs,
for
and
the
a
glory of lost Calmerians.
Get our
What could
lightning
be
bolt
better?
back and go like that. Was a mistake though there. So if you're watching this, this one is the one that needed to be a Night to Remember. The other one was protected by the Shadow Lane. I mean, there's no way they don't have removal for this, but it was something to consider. Interesting. They had a 1-for-1 trade. They must, I was gonna say, must just have more removal options for those. So we need them to play a bunch of weak creatures.
Rise, my servant.
This is problematic.
They've no
That's going to
move
be a
we can't
mastermind because they're
anticipate.
digging. And then we just need them to not have hard removal for this. Now they have played 2 cast into times, but
Speak, citizen.
alright, Odaving comes down.
No match for mine.
They're at exactly 10, so I need them to just have no hard removal, no way to stop it.
Praise to Namira, whose fear is the ancient
Oh,
dark.
they've got the edict.
By the fires of oblivion.
Okay. Just ruin my fun, why don't you? Honestly, edict on the shrine is pretty tempting here. I also really want to play the Shambles, but again, I don't want to give them a tome.
Rise,
I think we're going to do this and get the Assassin,
I slay the unworthy.
just so that we can get a presence on the board. Alright, so they're going to get the tome either way. We'll at least slow it down. Also get something on the board. At this point, we're just hoping to draw, like, Uncano. Uncano would be pretty good.
What secrets do you seek?
Oh, gods. There is no way that Laneth is good for us in this scenario. Not at all. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I want to use my A Night to Remember there.
Out upon it.
Alright, so now the question is, what did they go find? Apex Wolf seems really good for them and really bad for me, huh? I need them to get something really inconsequential off of this Apex Wolf. That is not what I would call inconsequential. Really need my opponent to stop getting good cards. Might be stuck using the lightning bolt here just to make sure that they don't drain. Keeping them from gaining health is potentially our only path to victory here, so.
Friend.
Because again, as long as they're at 10, a top deck of Uncano wins us the game. If we find Laneth to find Uncano, it potentially wins us the game. Well, that's unfortunate with our Necromancer down there. So we'll just go ahead and pass. Wait to pair this with something else.
They've no move we can't anticipate.
Oh, my envy of their card draw.
I smell the stench of the living.
Well, that's problematic. It's exactly what we were not hoping that they would find.
I will keep Sothasil's people alive.
Well, I need to try to deal with this, so. They will have removal, but there is nothing I can do about it. And sadly, this means that Uncano is no longer going to represent lethal.
So predictable.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
Piercing Twilight is going to eat what? Oof.
Repel the Outlanders.
Yeah, let's keep making them use removal here. So outside of our Death Priest that they very swiftly cast into time, we haven't hit any of our own Fun Police stuff since. No cast into times for us, no Piercing Twilights for us, and our opponent has just pretty significantly outdrawn us as well. Which is typically the key to control mirrors. We had some outs. Well, this ought to be fun.
Behold my creation, the perfect life form.
And we most certainly want the Twilight. And then because we're on Fun Police,
Hold my
let's just go ahead and do this as well.
life form.
What do we want? We probably don't want the guard, so go ahead and do that. So what's in here that we're worried about? They have a Necromancer, so we could hit that. That actually feels pretty good, because it's a one of. The other option would be Apex Wolf, but I think we hit the Necromancer. I don't really want to commit this quite yet. Mostly because I'm expecting a Dawn's Wrath. So we'll wait at least a turn here. Our opponent still has an... Yep, there's the Wrath. Still has an awful lot of cards in their hand. So... doing our best. Okay.
Slay the unworthy.
Respectable answer.
Watch yourself now.
So we'll go ahead and do that. And you know what? Go ahead and do that as well. They've used a lot of hard removal options over there, so... Oh! Oh! And they have a firebolt. I mean, this doesn't feel good to use alone, but we want to draw the card more than anything. And we'll actually give this the Drain and Guard.
They've no move. We can't
Finally!
anticipate.
We find some card draw. But all of our Necromancers are gone unless we find a Soul Tear. But we found some card draw. I mean, we do still have some pretty good top end in our deck. I mean, that's the one reassuring thing, right? If we can find a Soul Tear, if we can find a Laneth, we'll have a lot of things going our way. That's kind of nice.
All right, men, on me.
I live to serve. I live to serve.
Alright, we'll do it like this. We don't really need the ward quite yet anyway. And this will hopefully protect our other creatures, and they've only got one Ice Storm left. So we're doing our best to continue pressuring.
I am a mirror.
Oof. Okay.
I have almost achieved perfection.
Now we need to find some hard removal. That is a brutal play from our opponent.
For honor and glory.
I do hope that.
And we'll just do this. If they want to attack us, then they'll just pop the ward. Honestly, playing this might have been a mistake. I played it because I wanted to try to remove this, but making them attack into this and hit with breakthrough
It seems I must delay
was probably going to overall be better.
Destruction.
I smell the stench of the
That's
living.
not good for us.
This should help you.
Yeah, so now we didn't even get cards out of it. That's a second immolating blast. Bravo, sir. Bravo. Let's get rid of the Apex Wolf. This is a very intense mirror match, even though it's not a true mirror because they're playing what's likely a better version of the deck. The only good thing is they have to give me a card if they want to drain.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
Alright. Sadly, Ice Storm is not the card I was looking for. And neither really is Doppelganger, but... Alright. They're on a 2-turn clock if they want to go on offense here, and they still have a lot more cards than me. I desperately need to find something that I can use to either answer things or pressure. Gourmet is not the answer. Night to Remember is not the answer.
Is the ancient
Oh no. Oh no. Alright, Edict helps a bit. So, we have... I mean, I have to use it here, sadly, but we have Edict.
You're so sweet, I could just eat you up.
And I have Gourmet. Only 2 cards in hand. Really don't want to use this Doppelganger on a Gourmet just to prevent 2 damage. So we're gonna take a risk. We're gonna take a gamble. Camel, huh? At some point here, I gotta find something else, right? Like, I'm looking for Nakreen, I'm looking for... Oh, that's not good. They let go Odaving. That means they have something very good. Alright, so we're gonna do that.
I smell the stench of the living.
And sadly this. Just so that I can maybe block. This being able to generate value for my opponent is problematic. But sadly I had to use my second Edict on the big boy punching me in the face.
You cannot hope to outrun destiny.
Oh! It hurts! It hurts so bad. Fine. We'll try to survive. But now they get even more drain.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
Well, there's the Laneth I needed 8 million years ago, sadly.
The waters of life.
I'm not even sure what I could go get right now that would save me. I mean, I'm gonna have a Harpy for this. I mean, our only path to victory is like double shooting with Uncano. So I guess we go get that. And now we pray. I assume they have a lightning bolt or something here, right? But
Roots of the hiss.
maybe. Wow, and they have the Edict. Okay.
I slay the unworthy.
That was not what I was expecting them to have. And now, because I went and I got Uncano instead of something like Solitaire or Parthenax, I just lose. It's a damn shame.
I have many important things on my mind.
Well, we're gonna make him sweat.
I have many important things on my mind.
And good game.
By the egg.
Good game. Our opponent just had a far better draw
I have many
engine.
important things on my mind.
A pretty significant draw engine. That kept them in the game. We could not find the cards that we needed, so we will try this again. Let's go ahead and jump into the game. See how it goes. I will admit, oh look, it's Frenzy. So this will also not go well. I will admit that the Nakreen in here is a bit memey. That probably should be a Marak. But I miss the good old days when Nakreen was good, so every now and then I like to break him out and test him. But as you watch this video, if you do like the list, I would highly recommend changing out
I keep a spare blade in my boot.
Nakreen for Marak, just so we're clear. And it looks like Frenzy is on a non-traditional mage because he is playing, you know, cards that actually want to attack me. I am befuddled.
Careful there, friend. Do your worst.
I am a bit befuddled.
Your blood will spill.
Sure. I mean, we could have just, like, let it go and tried to set up an Ice Storm, I suppose. Be super greedy, but...
This might be handy. Careful there.
Well, now
friend.
I kind of wish that I had. I mean, two of the cards in their hand are daggers, so at this point,
Do your worst.
I
I'll
think
try to
we
draw their fire.
just play the long game here. Could cast and time the Illusionist, but I'm not that worried about Illusionists. I'm gonna save cast for more
Behold my
impactful
power.
targets, and I did also kind of want them to hit me.
Don't underestimate me.
They're contemplating. Frenzy saying, all right, next turn is Ice Storm. Do I want to commit more, or do I want to make him answer this? Still has one dagger. And 3 other cards. Doing math. I had a feeling Frenzy's gonna end up passing
A little
here.
distraction
No?
might prove
Okay.
useful.
Okay, so we will just use one of the Ice Storms. We're gonna take some damage as a result, but now they're down to 2 cards in hand, one of them being a dagger there, so okay.
Hardly a challenge.
We're fine with this as well. And how do we want to do it? Let's just go ahead and Edict. And I don't really want to Soul Tear anything there, so... We used Edict instead of Cast into Time because there are already 2 Illusionists deep.
Adapt and survive.
That's a much better Cast into Time target. And... yeah, just go ahead and pass again. Alright. It's a split card, so I'm gonna guess that's Manic Jack.
Behold, my
That's Manic
magnificent
Jack.
monster.
Now, how do we want to tackle Mr. Manic Jack? I think
Out of my way, worm.
like
I
this.
do hope that trouble.
And the reason I'm okay with this is just because we've got Necromancer to bring this back, so believe it or not, being able to get this to die and kind of abuse is beneficial. But I'm pretty sure that we are on our way to stabilizing here. So we have an answer for that. Whoa, he got charge. It's gonna get rid of my ward anyway. Or not. Get the concession. And yeah, much better that time around. This deck is built for doing just this, in my opinion. It's a much better deck against aggressive decks. So that long mirror where my opponent just had better card draw options and, you know, was running Marak while we are not, did not favor us, but I think this deck is fun. I'm going to, like I said, put a deck code in the video description as is, so it will not have Marak, it will have Nocrain, but as I said, if you want to take this slightly more seriously, Nocrain should be Marak. So anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, may you walk on warm sands.